Hey, to those of you who watched our centrifugal dust separator build project, here's a quick follow-up with some of your ideas. I got those larger canisters installed. These are 15-gallon food-safe containers, so they've got a rubber seal on the inside of the lid and this nice metal band to tightly hold everything together. I ended up putting 2 individual ports on top of each bin, so each of the exit ports of the separator gets a dedicated line. That was mainly because I couldn't accommodate the Y fittings that I had in there before because of the top of the bin height. The other change that I made was to the impeller. A couple of y'all had commented that the pitch on the fins was too shallow, and I think you're spot on. I went back and I looked at the commercial version, and sure enough, it didn't match. So this new version is as close as I can get to matching it based on the diagrams. So now I gotta see if I can disassemble the unit without destroying all the other pieces so I can get that new impeller installed. Oh, okay. Not as bad as I thought. Definitely sealed, but not impossible to remove. Okay, for this I'm gonna have to break some super glue joints. Let's see if this will come out. I can't even get another hand in there. Oh, there we go. Oh man, it's turning the whole front piece. It's trying to spin the inlet. Shoot. Well, I definitely know the super glue holds. I'm gonna try maybe just a little bit of acetone in that joint. Doggone, how am I gonna get that out of there? All right, maybe I can give it a little bit of a jolt out of there. Oh, you know what? I'll just see if I can break the other inlet loose and we'll just pull the whole thing out. Here you go, I'll give you a comparison of these fins. Much more aggressive on this new design. All right, now let's see if we can get it all apart. It's definitely solid. Doggone, I'm gonna have to reprint everything. Oh, I don't like the sound. Oh, there's one. Okay, there's the shroud. To all you guys that said, hey, just make this change, don't talk to me right now. I think that the rear cone is the only casualty out of that, so I suppose not terrible, but that's gonna take some time to reprint. So let me get that started. Let's see if we can get all of this to fit back in there. Whew, there we go. Oh, I'm gonna be back to the same problem I had putting this all together, is this fits tight. I picked up an anemometer so that I could take a look at what is coming through the tubes in terms of airflow. And one of the things that I hadn't thought about in the earlier test was I've got 4-inch tubing, which is what you saw mainly coming in, but I also have several of my machines that reduce down to 2.5-inch. That severely limits the flow, like almost in half, when we're talking about the measurements here at the tubes. So I think when I run a test this time, I'm gonna run both of those tests to see, because that slows the speed through the tube from about 12 meters per second down to 6.5 meters per second. In the commercial systems, I think what they're looking for, typically pushing through, is anywhere between 13 meters per second and 22 meters per second. So we're still landing kind of close to that. Probably, for the size of the tube, probably pushing a little too much air when we're running the 4-inch, but we're gonna see in the test what we get from that. I'm gonna go ahead and leave these open without being connected to the filter for this first test, because much like the first round of testing, I wanna see what's actually coming out the ports just visibly. This is all with the modified impeller, so let's look at that first. That was the 4-inch test at 12 meters per second airflow at the inlet. Now we're going to take it down to the 2.5-inch pipe test, which is going to be a 6.4 meters per second inlet air speed. Just from seeing the results, I feel like what I see is better results from that there's less coming through with the modified impeller, but it's going to be hard to tell until we actually get a measurement on it. But one thing I thought was interesting is that moving from the 4-inch down to the 2.5-inch, while that cut the airflow in half, I didn't really see a different result. I still saw at least some material coming all the way through the exhaust port, so I'm not sure how much the airflow is really playing into this. That kind of surprised me. So we're going to keep testing. We'll do an actual measurement test next. Take a look at the difference in material size. You can definitely see the separator itself is working. All of that on the right is that large particle side, and the left is the fines. Here we go. 1,000 gram test running through 4-inch line. Okay, so for this round, looking at 897, 898 grams. So we'll call that 900, so 90%. So we did worse than we did before. Well, let's run the test again and run it at the 2.5-inch line, which is gonna basically half that airspeed through here. Let's see if that makes any difference. What's interesting, I'm not even feeding any material through at the moment, but it's almost like some of that material gets trapped in there. Weigh this one more time. 936 grams out of 1,000, so 93.6%, 3.6 better percent than the faster speed. Airspeed does matter. Let me show you guys what I'm finding in the bottom of the canister. Now, I know this might look like a lot of material, but I didn't empty it in between rounds of testing. But what's more interesting to me is that while for the most part this is pretty fine, I'm seeing some bigger pieces actually come through. Like that's a sliver of a piece that has come through, and there's some heavier particles in there that I wouldn't quite have expected to make it that far. We're going to try one more test where we put the tubes in series instead of parallel. The idea being that anything that escapes that first tube will get caught in the second one. Since these are already fixed to the board, I don't have a good way to rotate this tube around, so we're going to have to use a piece of flexible hose to go out of one and into the other. I know that's not optimal using flexible hose, but that's the only way that we're going to be able to run this test without a major change in the way that it's mounted. I had to seal up the other port that was being used by the additional separator so that we didn't have airflow back through there. While I was getting all of this connected, I went ahead and tested the airflow from each of the ports. Coming out of the blower, going into the 5-inch to 4-inch reduction, and at the inlet of the first separator, we're seeing 24.1 meters per second. On the outlet side of that same separator, that reduces down to 11 meters per second. And then as it exits the second separator, it bumps back up to 15.8 meters per second. Now, the reason that we are seeing the increase in airspeed on the second separator is due to what several of y'all have mentioned, where we have pressurization happening in the collection bins. So I think what's happening here is that the air is taking the path of least resistance. It's coming in, it's flowing down into the canister, and then pushing back up to the other one. So we're actually gaining an increase in the airspeed as it flows out that second separator. That's also probably going to pick up additional dust particles too as it flows through there. So Not sure how this is gonna work just yet. Let's go ahead and flow some material through here. This back separator is gonna be the first in the series, and the front one is gonna be the second in the series. Well, we can already see from just a little bit of material that we ran through here that putting these in series is not going to get us the result that we were looking for. What's happening is with that air rushing to the path of least resistance, we're never getting the material even through the first separator to get to the second one. It's going down and into the collection canisters and moving its way up to that second separator. So the only way I think that you can make this work would be individual canisters on every port. That's way more complicated than this needs to be. And so I think we can put this one to rest. Putting the separators in series is just not efficient. It's not a good setup. I don't think we need to test any further. How do I wrap this up? Well, first of all, let me say that the ideas that y'all submitted were amazing. I went through all of that feedback, including what we just tested out, the more aggressive fins, the larger canister size, the changes to the airflow, putting them in series, all of that was from your feedback. And those ideas continued. There were suggestions around sanding down the 3D printed parts or putting a filler in there to get rid of the ridges so that we have a smoother overall surface for the air to flow on. There was an interesting idea around a water bath for some of the fine particles. A little bit more of a complicated setup, but interesting nonetheless. Some of you even suggested that this is a ridiculous setup. I should have never started it in the first place, and I should just go buy a Cyclone setup. That might be good advice. For me, this was a fun project. I got to learn a bunch about a system that I had never worked with before, and I thought maybe it was an opportunity for you to learn a little something as well. So from that perspective, I think it was a worthwhile endeavor, but what you choose for your workshop is completely up to you. Thanks again for all of your feedback. It was encouraging, it was constructive, and ultimately helped me refine the overall project to be able to take it just a little bit further. If you decide to take this project on yourself, I've made all of the designs that we did for the separators, those 3D prints, those are available to you to download, and I've also even included the step files for sources if you want to go ahead and play with those designs. If you do, I would encourage you to upload those changes so that we can all benefit from what you're testing and trying and hopefully get to an overall better product. And if you do build one of these on your own, well, I hope it sucks. No, in a good way. I'll catch you all next time.